Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X-Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X-Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X-Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomena, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X-Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, rel-mar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center and studios in Crystal Beach, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And to find out about the programming we have available for you, 7/24/365 on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit www.xzbn.net. Happy Halloween to each and every one of you. The weather is bad in certain parts of Canada and the United States, so bad that officials have asked parents and kids alike not to go out trick-or-treating tonight, but wait until tomorrow night when the weather is supposed to be a little better. So to all the goblins and ghouls out there who anticipated running out tonight asking for trick-or-treat, just one more day is all it's going to take. My guest this hour, Exonation, is Kenneth Dudley, and we're going to be talking about UFOs. And Kenneth, you have quite a resume. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, basically, as of right now, I consider myself a UFO investigator. Mm-hmm. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook and several other places, but I mainly work off of Facebook and LinkedIn.
How did you get involved into the investigation of UFOs?
Pretty much by accident. In 2005, I was almost killed in a car wreck down here in Galveston on the seawall. Mm-hmm. And surviving the accident, I started to do an investigation into the lady that ran the red light that almost killed me. And I had hired a big lawyer down here, Texas Hammer. He's on TV. He was unable to locate this lady in roughly 2 years, so I took matters into my own hands and tracked her down in 4 hours.
Wow. So how does this relate to the UFOs?
It relates to the UFOs because the lady that almost killed me was a Buddhist nun that lived in a Buddhist temple on top of a mountain in Crestone, Colorado. And during my investigation into this lady that almost killed me, it came up that the San Luis Valley in Colorado is the #1 hotspot for UFOs in the United States. 1 out of every 6 people in a 6-county area have seen a UFO in the San Luis Valley. And that sparked my interest because back in October 1973, I had to stop my car, or my girlfriend's car, on Interstate 70, crossing Utah at 3 o'clock in the morning at a location called Green River, Utah. And that's where the Utah Launch Complex was located in the 70s.
Okay.
I had to stop for a giant UFO. It was coming down the gorge. We were cresting a mountain and getting ready to drop off into the valley below. And off to my left, in my peripheral vision, there was a giant flying saucer, dome with a saucer, coming down the gorge. And it roughly was moving about the same speed I was. And so I was scared we were going to intersect at the bottom of the gorge. And so I locked it up on Interstate 70, about 20 miles west of Green River. And me and my girlfriend stood in the road and watched it take off in front of us, become a star in seconds.
Do you think it was...
So anyway, I was almost killed in a car wreck, and because this woman that I was tracking was in the San Luis Valley, and it turned out that this was a UFO hotspot when I Googled it, in trying to find her location and information about that location. It sparked me to, I wanted to make a report, but at that point in time, this was 2005, I didn't know who to make a report to. So one thing led to another, and I hooked up with the National UFO Reporting Center and MUFON to make reports. After finding out that both of those organizations had people working for them, for the government, that had infiltrated both of those organizations, I decided I couldn't trust either organization. That's MUFON, Mutual UFO Network, or the National UFO Reporting Center. And I started my own investigation, not only into the cover-up and all the government aspects of it, but also MUFON and the National UFO Reporting Center.
So do you really believe that there's a government conspiracy to suppress any truth about UFOs?
No question about it. No question about it. I just finished an 11-year investigation, which led me to NASA Counterintelligence, which is based out of Johnson Space Center here in Houston. That's where I live, a short distance from NASA. And it also led me to make reports to the Federal Bureau of Investigation here in Houston. And between tracking down the counterintelligence people, the FBI people, I came to a conclusion that, yes, there is a government conspiracy to cover up these events, these UFO events. No question about it.
Why do you think the conspiracy of a cover-up is in place?
National security. It's all about national security.
But if it's national security, isn't that what the government is supposed to do, is protect their citizens using national security?
Yes, and that's also why what they're trying to do. They're trying to protect the citizens, because if they told the citizens what's happened, what is happening, and what could happen, they would panic, just like everybody thinks they would. And, some probably people would question everything. And that's what happens. You start questioning everything. And firstly, unless there's a confrontation between this alien race and our military I don't think it's going to be a big issue, but the problem is that nuclear weapons has brought about this confrontation. I work basically in the military intelligence area. I work with police, ex-military people, and ex-NASA people, current NASA people, and current military people, and current police officers. And yes, it's a national security issue, and that's why they won't come out and advise the people about this UFO situation.
When we go back in history, let's go to 1947, the Roswell incident. What do you think happened, or what has your investigation surfaced because of your intense investigative procedures and experience into the UFO phenomenon?
Well, when I decided to go into the military intelligence area of UFOs, I started doing investigation into other possible locations, military locations, missile bases like the one I was at, that had UFO events. And I hooked up with a Robert Salas. Robert Salas put on the UFO Nuke press conference in Washington, where 7 different military officers got up and testified that they had nuclear incursions at their military bases.
Right.
So I guess if you track down 20 or 30 military bases that's had UFO incursions, Roswell was one of them. And as a matter of fact, one of the guys that testified right there in Washington at the press club, Jerome C. Nelson, was the commanding officer in missile silo site number 9 at Roswell. And during the winter of 1963 and 64, in his affidavit, which no one read, he stated that they had 6 to 10 UFO incursions at Roswell Army Air Base the winter of 63, 64, within several months, same time period as the assassination of JFK in Dallas.
When were the missile silos installed at Roswell?
I think they were the early silos. I'm not sure when they were installed. They're all, they've been deactivated for years. They're just silos out there now. But what it did was it led me to connect with people like John Burroughs and Nick Pope, people working on the Brentwaters, Suffolk, England UFO event in 1980, where they had UFOs have UFO incursions at their military base there in England. And what I've ended up doing is I've got hundreds of witnesses and these are government workers and ex-government people, and they all say the same thing. So when I get hundreds of police officers, hundreds of NASA employees, and hundreds of military people all telling you the same thing, and I'm in the military intelligence area, all kinds of red flags and sirens start going on.
All right, stand by, Kenneth.
No question about it.
All right, Kenneth, stand by, sir. We've got to take our commercial break. Please stand by. And Exonation will return on the other side of this break with our guest this hour, Kenneth Dudley. Now, if you'd like to visit his website, the Facebook page, I should say, is kenneth.dudley2. This is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. We'll be back. Don't go away.
It's hard to listen to the news without realizing we're living in volatile, unprecedented times. Yet never has there been such an opportunity to transform the human condition. As old structures fail, where can we find the guidance to co-create a better way? Find Your Path Home is an ever-evolving, leading-edge information, education, and healing resource center designed to support and guide you on your path to unity and enlightenment. Based on sound principles employed by shaman worldwide, we provide techniques that can support you through the current transitions, offering online shamanic classes, international long-distance shamanic healing sessions, complimentary Mission Evolution radio episodes and Stairway to Heaven TV vignettes, seminars, retreats, and much more. All of this can be found on findyourpathhome.com.
So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she'd come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me. simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
Path Home Shamanic Art School proudly presents the Gathering of Shaman 2019 Fall Retreat, Manifestation Samhain. Join me, certified shamanic instructor Gwilda Wiyaka, in the magnificent Colorado Mountains this November 2nd and 3rd for a life-changing event. Participate in unique teachings and ceremonies that'll put the power and magic of shamanic manifestation into your hands. Sit in circle with like-minded individuals, sharing group energy and the power it generates. Classes will be held in a facility next to the beautiful, majestic Arkansas River, further empowering the experience. Space is limited, so reserve your spot today. For more information, visit findyourpathhome.com or email touchin@findyourpathhome.com.
Explanation. Kenneth Dudley is our special guest this hour. Again, if you'd like to visit his Facebook page, it's facebook.com/Kenneth.Dudley. Number 2. And that's just the number 2. It's Kenneth Dudley. Kenneth.Dudley 2. Kenneth, when it comes to the witness testimony that you have, the events that surround the witness testimonies, do they actually state that these are UFOs from another planet, or are they simply UFOs or unidentified flying objects that they have no idea what they are?
Well, I think each of these people that I talk to, they're not sure where these things are coming from. When the one I saw took off and became a star in seconds, so I estimated speed somewhere between 8,000 and 12,000 miles an hour. So we don't have anything like that. Now, where are they? They could be under the ocean, in a sand dune, in the desert, in a mountain. They could be, coming interdimensional. And a lot of people don't believe in interdimensional, but this could be an interdimensional thing as well. So as far as where they're coming from, no one really knows for sure. I think they have bases here on Earth, and so I can't really answer that question because I don't know the answer to that question. All I know for sure is they're real. It's a national security issue. The government's well aware of it. The FBI. I've been to the FBI 4 times in Houston over this issue. Last time in, they referred me to Washington as FBI because they said they did not have the manpower or resources to do anything in the UFO field out of Houston here. So, anyway, the FBI confirmed it. Houston Johnson Space Center Counterintelligence confirmed it.
What did the FBI confirm, sir?
First of all, when I first went in there, the first time I went in to recruit the FBI into my investigation, and I got a young guy, and he gave me the old typical FBI line, we don't investigate FBI UFOs.
Right.
And I pulled out a document from October 1973 when I saw my UFO, and it was from the director of the FBI to the American public, stating that he wished he could help, but at this time he's unable to help. So the FBI's had their hands somehow tied on this UFO issue. Anyway, when I produced that document, he quit talking. He just kind of clammed up. He got where he didn't want to talk anymore, and so it didn't last too long. Second time in, I took the affidavits from all the military officers at the UFO News press conference, handed them over to the FBI, and when I was there, they debriefed me for probably 2 straight hours. After that, anybody that told me the FBI doesn't take UFO reports, apparently they've never been to the FBI and never given a UFO report, so because they don't know. But yes, the FBI took a 2-hour report on me about the UFO News press conference in Washington. And somebody said, well, do they believe in UFOs? Well, do you think the FBI would write down everything I said, take the affidavits of the military officers if they didn't think something was going on?
Is it possible they were investigating you and where you got this information and how you became in possession of military testimonies from military personnel?
There's no question the FBI knows all about me because I went out to the nearest airfield out here, Ellington Airfield, just south of Houston.
Right.
And I was going to try to hook up with Air Force Intelligence, Office of Special Investigation out here at the Air Base. And I drove out there and drove up to the guard shack, handed my driver's license, and they said, well, how can we help you? And I said, I need to talk to somebody in the Office of Special Investigation because I'm doing an investigation into the Air Force. I didn't tell them what the investigation was about. Anyway, so they sent out an officer in a truck, met me in the visitor parking lot, and he asked me some questions and said the guys weren't there. It was on a Monday, weren't there. Come back the next day on Tuesday, and there'd be somebody to talk to me. And he said, do you have any references? I said, yeah, my reference is the FBI in Houston, Texas. So I went home. They called the FBI. FBI told them, he's investigating you. The next day when I showed up, they met me with M16s. So they went from a really nice bunch of people to a really pissed off bunch of people once they realized that they're under investigation by me, Kenneth, Dudley, and the FBI told them that I was investigating. And they told them what the reason was, the cover-up, the UFO cover-up. So they all know about me. FBI knows about me. They all know about me. Air Force, all of them.
So what do you think you can do that others haven't been able to do?
I am working with certain people. Well, first of all, I'm going to congressmen. I've been to Sheila Jackson Lee's office in the federal building in downtown Houston and turned over some information to her. And they had to fill out an official government document that I was there in her office and why I was there. Okay. I will be going to all the congressmen and all the congresswomen, and they're all going to fill out this official government document that I was there and why I was there. What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm putting pressure on people. That's
Why?
what I'm doing.
But
what
why?
can I do? We'll see what I can do.
But
that's all I got to say.
I don't understand. You said that you understood that this was a matter of national security. So why are you trying?
It is national security.
So why are you trying to breach it?
Why am I trying to breach national security?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I'm trying to breach it. Because there have been people killed, there have been people injured, there have been people threatened, and any government that kills people and lets people die and be injured and threatens people needs to be brought under control.
Okay, but
that's why.
Who has been killed because of the UFO
investigations? I've got 5 dead people already from coming in contact with UFOs. I've got more people that have been injured. John Burroughs just became the first veteran in history be awarded disability benefits for coming in contact with a UFO in Brentwaters in 1980 at our military base over there. That's just the tip of the iceberg, okay?
Okay.
The way the government looks at it, so what if a few people die? So what if a few people get injured? So what if somebody gets threatened? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's the majority of the people they're looking for. They could care less about Joe Blow over here. We got 2 ladies that died here in Houston, radiation poisoning, coming too close to unidentified flying objects. No one cared.
Yeah.
No one did anything.
How do we know that the propulsion system from a civilization that must be highly advanced, why would they still be using radiation? Wouldn't they have developed something that was a lot safer than radiation by now?
I have no idea about that. All I know is the 2 ladies, Cash and Landrum. You can look it up. I'm sure if you've been doing UFO stuff for years, you probably know about the Cash Landrum. 2 ladies here in Houston that back in 1980, same time John Burroughs got too close to that ship over there in Brentwaters, was driving down a road over here outside of Houston, and they came in contact with a ship. And you can look it up. You can Google it. Cash Landrum. They both died a slow death, and no one did anything about it. That's who I represent. Yeah. I represent those that have died, been injured, and been threatened by my own government. And I'm telling you, I'm pissed off.
But who's been threatened by your government?
What's that?
Who's been threatened?
We've got a rancher over here in Stephenville, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
We had a big UFO flap over here. I went up and questioned the guy up at Stephenville. He had a UFO come right over his house, and he was the main witness in Stephenville. Although the whole town of Stephenville, hundreds of people saw this thing, and jet fighters were chasing it. Somebody called him on his phone, and they said, "We've got guns, and we'll use them. You need to keep your mouth shut." And he told them, like a good Texan, "Cross the cattle guard, and you're dead." Okay.
But being an investigator, you yourself must realize that this is hearsay. It can't be. Did he substantiate it with any proof?
You can ask a whole lot of people about Stephenville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Oh, I understand. Yeah, I understand. I've read the reports and I've talked to some people from Stevensville. But I'm talking about this person who you said received a telephone call, and
no, there is no proof. No proof that they called him and threatened him.
Okay.
No, there is no proof.
All right, stand by. We've got to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. In Exo Nation, I'll return on the other side of the news with our guest this hour, all the way from the beautiful state of Texas, Kenneth Dudley. And if you'd like to visit Kenneth's Facebook page, it's kenneth.dudley2. I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. And if you'd like to send me an email, xzone at xzoneradiotv.com. We'll be back after this news break. Don't go away. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X-Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X-Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X-Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomenon, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light. And welcome back, everyone. Kenneth Dudley is our guest. His Facebook page is facebook.com/Kenneth.Dudley2. Kenneth, I understand that you've solved the great UFO wave of October 1973.
Yep, sure have. Sure have. Because let me put it this way. My sighting was in October 1973 at the Utah Launch Complex.
Right.
So one of the things that I started working on was the October 1973 UFO wave. I hooked up with Ken Storch. I don't know if you know Ken Storch.
No.
He was at SAC Command, Office Air Force Base, Omaha, Nebraska, October 1973. And he was there, and a big buzzer went off, and a bunch of red lights started to flash and says, "This is not a drill. This is not a drill." Okay? Something about unidentified flying objects. Well, turns out they had them on radar at SAC Command, and I was facing the ship face-to-face on I-70 at exactly the same time over in Utah. So I finally tracked down somebody that had exactly the same UFO event as me, okay, at a military base just like me, that could confirm what I saw and what I thought was going on. About the October 1973, yes, what happened was you have to look at history.
Okay.
The Vietnam War was going on. Watergate was going on. There was a war in the Middle East. I think it was the 7-Day War. I don't know. It's October 1973. Anyway, so we had this war going on, kind of like we got now between us and the Russians, except it was a lot more. We were at each other's throats back there in 73. And we went to DEFCON 3. We moved our launch status for our nuclear weapons from DEFCON 5 to 4 to 3. 2, it's getting ready to launch. 1's launch. Anyway, they were preparing the nuclear weapons. And that's why the ship was there, monitoring the missile base, October 1973. Okay? So this big wave that no one seems to know anything about, it was an invasion. An invasion. What I mean by invasion is they had their ships in position to counteract whatever we did. And that was a military confrontation between this aliens and our military, October 1973. That's what it was all about. The aliens apparently warned not only us, but Russia to stand down with the nuclear weapons, or else. So now we've got to a big conspiracy here. We've got a war going on between aliens and humans. It's been going on since 1947. We've been trying to shoot them down. We've been trying to kill them. We've been trying to reverse the technology, which we have. And the thing is, I had some guy ask me, so well, where's all the UFOs at? Well, okay, they learned that humans are dangerous, so they try to stay away from humans. But this big nuke thing, you see, if they live here too, whether it's interdimensional on the bottom of the ocean or anything else, if they have, something here on Earth that they deem valuable, whatever that might be, not humans, then they are going to go. They're going to be willing to get it on with us if we get ready to exchange nuclear weapons. Why? Because if we destroy Earth, we probably destroy them too. So, I mean, it's something that they wouldn't be aggressive to us unless it was a situation where they had no choice, is what it looks like to me.
So were these UFOs strategically placed above all the nuclear launch sites in the United States and Russia?
Well, this one that I saw was hiding in the gorge from the radar station at Landing, which was the big radar station at the Utah Launch Complex in October 1973. And why would it be hiding in the gorge? Because we were sending F-11s to intercept these ships. And as they buzzed our base, and they were buzzing Roswell, the Utah Launch Complex, Maelstrom. I can go on, base after base after base after base. Okay, and the whole thing about this is the truth is the truth. Okay, and our government has been lying to us, no question about it, about this alien situation since the 40s. And their disinformation is to make a joke of it, which they're the joke, and the joke's going to be on them pretty soon. But they've got everybody believing this. And there's a bit of, the last time I can remember anybody brainwashing an entire population of people was the Nazis in World War II when they told the German people, we're not killing the Jews. Well, this UFO thing is about the same deal. UFOs are not real. No, they're not real. Don't worry about it. There's nothing going on. Nobody's died. Nobody's been injured. No one's been threatened. It's all bullshit.
I can appreciate your enthusiasm, but I would like you to kind of refrain from using vulgarity on the show.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's all right. I understand how enthusiastic you are, but let me ask you this: why is it that not everyone sees these UFOs? That it's just a very few, in the big scheme of things, that see the UFOs?
Well, I don't think there's so many UFOs flying around that everybody's going to see one, okay?
Yeah.
And really, the best place to see a UFO is around a military base. If you want to see a UFO, go park yourself on top of a mountain around one of our military bases. See if you don't see something flying by that looks pretty weird. That's your best chance to see a UFO.
But how do we know?
There's interaction between the military and the UFOs. There's interaction.
But how do we know what we're looking at is not an experimental aircraft? For example, prior to the Gulf War, they were testing the F-117 Stealth at Area 51 before final deployment was issued. You had people there with Doppler radar systems who were getting these returns, or there was no return. They look up, they could see something. Doing these fantastic maneuvers. Comes to, everybody thought they were UFOs that were out there.
Well, I wouldn't, the only reason why I know it is because I know what I saw, okay? And I saw a flying saucer in 73. It was probably 100 feet high and probably 300 feet long. Okay, the dome rotated counterclockwise, and the saucer rotated clockwise, opposite direction. Because I had a bird's eye view. I was above it on top of the mountain, coming down off the top of the mountain. Now, as far as I know, even though the Nazis supposedly were working on this technology back in the 30s, we didn't have anything in 1973 that could take from stop position and take off and be accelerating up to 8,000 miles an hour, just gone like that, a flash, and it's a star. that doesn't sound like that's one of ours.
I agree with you 100%.
This is not one of these triangle ships, which is the Air Force Space Command. By the way, Air Force Space Command has a triangle ship. Okay, all you got to do is Google Air Force Space Command, and you will see their ship. It's right on their emblem, right on the flag. It's right there. It's a triangle ship. Okay, we have that type of technology. But I'm talking about something else. Flying saucers are a different breed than triangle ships. Okay, and by the way, let me just say a little bit about triangle ships.
Sure, please.
I got because I'm on LinkedIn as a UFO investigator, I had Blackwater people coming to me and asking me if I knew anything about triangle UFOs, because I had triangle UFOs over their weapon storage areas in Afghanistan just a few years ago. They were scared to death that they were going to somehow sabotage the weapons depot. Anyway, their commanding officer didn't do anything about it. They happened to get hold of the Air Force. The Air Force said they didn't have anything like that. They called me, and I said, yeah, sounds to me like it's either one of our ships, the Triangle, although maybe it's an alien ship. But, yeah, it's real. There's an ongoing thing about these ships over these weapon storage areas, these nuclear power plants, these nuclear missile bases. There's a connection there, and it's the nuclear connection. Now, I think, what's his name, hit the nail on the head, the guy that wrote the book about UFO and nukes. When Al put on the UFO nuke press conference in Washington. Name doesn't...
Stephen Bassett?
Right. What's that?
Stephen Bassett?
No. It's another guy. I can't think of his name right here. Just a second.
Hey, listen,
Anyway,
all right, you and I have to take our final break. Please stand by, Kenneth. And when we come back, we're going to wrap up this hour here in the X-Zone Nation with our guest this hour, Kenneth Dudley. And if you'd like to visit his Facebook page, it's facebook.com/kenneth.dudley.com. There is no .com. It's just kenneth.dudley, the number 2. We'll be back on the other side of this news break. Again, we've got a short news break coming up because of the events that are happening tonight, October 31st, with this strange weather that is hitting the United States and Canada, as well as an update on the fire situation in the state of California. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center and studios in Crystal Beach, Ontario, Canada. Now go away. If you are looking for a safe, zero-calorie natural option to the harmful artificial sweeteners on the market today, Just Like Sugar is what you're looking for. Just Like Sugar is a wonderful natural alternative for those health-conscious people who choose a calorie-restricted diet with a great, pure, sweet flavor that tastes just like sugar. Just Like Sugar is a great natural option for people suffering from diabetes and may be useful in restricted diet programs where standard sugars are not allowed and does not cause a laxative effect of some other sweeteners. Just Like Sugar comprises a perfect blend of chicory root fiber, natural calcium, natural vitamin C, and Just Like Sugar's sweetness comes from the natural flavors from the peel of the orange. Just Like Sugar is a natural alternative to harmful artificial sweeteners and will change the way that you believe all natural sweetener products taste. Just Like Sugar is available at your local Whole Foods markets, Wild Oats markets, Henry's, Sun Harvest, and many other fine natural food stores in the U.S., Canada, and worldwide. They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Eli Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, The 70-Year Cover-Up Exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now to receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Memorable dynamic presentations are a not-so-secret weapon in the business world. Do you have a powerful message that must be shared, but you haven't found a way to deliver that message? Do you want to be known as a top public speaker who gets amazing results? Are you ready to create and deliver your powerful message? Thomas Hides can help you create and deliver your speech to get the results you desire. Visit iconquality.com.
Did you expect your business to flourish, but instead it plateaued or didn't get off the ground yet? Would you like to achieve massive goals and discover new sources of income within your business? When you're ready to experience that type of success with fast results, Cindy Hendricks is the business coach for you. Her work with entrepreneurs and business owners has been life-changing. To get you and your business where you want to be, go to imaginemoresuccess.com.
Has the fear of public speaking stalled your business or personal life? What would you give to develop and maintain supreme confidence? Have an invaluable private program to always perform at your best. Imagine how you would feel. You can have all that and so much more today with Thomas Hides' life-changing course called Number One Fear Unleashed. Visit numberonefear.com and be liberated from your fear of public speaking.
Welcome back, everyone. Kenneth Dudley is our special guest. We're talking about UFOs. And once again, if you're into the UFO field, Kevin Randall's show here on the X Zone Broadcast Network, A Different Perspective, airs every day. And to find out when you can listen to Kevin and his very interesting guests from throughout the UFO community, visit www.xzbn.net and look for the show, A Different Perspective. Also, next Tuesday, Jan Harzan from MUFON is going to be my guest. That'll be interesting. And we're also going to be talking to a number of people this month, I should say next month, in November, about the Kennedy assassination. All this and much more here on the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell. Kenneth, first of all, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. It's understandable about your passion, and I told you that during the commercial break. How do you see the your investigation going forward? Since you now, just help me understand this. You're working with the FBI?
No, I make reports to the FBI.
Oh.
And they take my UFO reports. I make reports to NASA counterintelligence. They take my reports, UFO reports. So anybody that says the FBI doesn't care about UFOs, they've never been to the FBI about this, and they have no idea what they're talking about, is all I have to say on that. UFO news. Robert Hastings, I'm sure you've heard of Robert Hastings.
Yeah.
Rob?
Yes, I have.
Okay, UFO and nukes. You need to read it if you haven't. Extraordinary encounters at nuclear weapon sites. Mm-hmm. That's my area. Nuclear weapon sites. And people at those sites and their reports.
All right.
Also, Leslie Kean, UFOs, general pilots, and government officials go on the record. That's something else I'm into doing, getting all the officials to go on the record.
Yeah, why I asked you about the UFO, because in the information you sent us, where it says briefly describe any experiences that you might have had, you put solve the great UFO wave of October 1973, sighting October 1973 at the Utah Launch Complex, currently working on UFO disclosure. Current an investigator working with the FBI, Houston, Texas. NASA counterintelligence based out of Johnson Space Center, Houston, working with Congress and Homeland Security, local police departments, government people. To me, that makes it sound as if you're actually working with the FBI, NASA, Congress.
No, I'm not working. I would like them to work with me, but you got to understand the FBI. I told them last time I was in, I've been in there 4 times now, I expect a phone call from the FBI. Well, the lady told me, well, normally they don't call you back. And because the FBI, they live in their little tower, and I hate to say it, Rob, but I got more UFO experience as an investigator than anybody in the FBI in Houston, Texas, and that's about the 4th or 5th largest FBI headquarters in the United States. Anyway, yes, I'll be going to all the congressmen. They're all going to get to see me here pretty soon, all the women. And I'm going to be putting pressure on Congress. I'm putting pressure on the FBI. So you're not working for them if you're putting pressure on them. I'm putting pressure on the Air Force. Homeland Security, I've been to Homeland Security. They said we don't report, the only person we report UFOs to is Washington Homeland Security. I said, oh, okay. I was going to get them to report to Bigelow Aerospace, because Bigelow Aerospace has the government contract for the airlines and all the airline pilots and supervisors and air traffic controllers to make UFO reports to Bigelow Aerospace out in Vegas. I was going to give them that number. But then he said, no, he got real mad at me, threw me out of the police headquarters and in Texas City where he's located.
Well, wait a sec.
Homeland Security guy.
Okay, so you're talking about Homeland Security threw you out of the Texas Police Department.
Yeah, the Homeland Security got very upset with me because I said it was a cover-up, a government cover-up.
Uh-huh.
And the guy sat right there and said, hey, anytime what happened was that Homeland Security came on TV here in Houston, Texas,
right.
Channel 2.
Okay.
And he says, we've got a bunch of UFO reports coming in from Texas City. If anybody knows anything about it, please report to Homeland Security, Texas City.
Sure.
I jump in my car, race down to Texas City. I walk in the police department, walk up to the guy and said, I'm here to talk to Homeland Security about this UFO situation. He says, wait a minute. Get to the Homeland Security guy, go back into the headquarters of the little Homeland Security, and says, well, what do you know? I know it's a cover-up, a government cover-up. As soon as I said that, he got irate. He said, I only make UFO reports to Homeland Security in Washington. I don't care about Bigelow Aerospace. And he got real upset and told me I need to leave or else. So, I'm not going to try to cause any trouble in the police station. The guy wants me to leave, I'll leave. You know, so I left. But, no, I confront these people, Rob, face to face. It doesn't matter who they are. It could be the Central Intelligence Agency. And I've had some contact with them over on LinkedIn, by the way. So, anyway, I'm putting the pressure on all of them. If you call that working with them, then that's working with them.
No. I don't call it that, but that's what you supplied my producer with.
I mean, I made a report. Is that working with them? I guess it is. If you go up there and make a report to the FBI. But I also told them they're under investigation. Who goes to the FBI headquarters and tells them they're under investigation?
No one I know.
Nobody.
But as a citizen, do you have the right to investigate them?
As a citizen, you have a right to investigate anybody that you deem has done something that they shouldn't be doing, that affects you and your family and anybody else that you might know.
So,
yes, I'll investigate the whole government.
Okay,
Republicans, Democrats, and all.
All right, let me ask you this. In your opinion, or I guess from as you perceive what is going on, is the government of the United States committing a crime against its people?
Yes, no question about it.
And what is that crime?
Crime? First of all, lying to the people. I guess that's standard operating procedure now for all government officials. Is just lie.
Mm-hmm.
But no, lying to the people, telling them that UFOs are not real, having people come in contact with a ship and dying, and having the government state, no, that didn't happen or whatever. I mean, who's for the people? You see, who stands up for the people? Not the FBI, not NASA, not Homeland Security. Okay, little Kenneth Dudley is the only guy standing up for the poor people out here.
So what does Kenneth Dudley want out of all this? I mean,
I want disclosure immediately.
But what happens if there is no disclosure? If there's nothing to disclose?
Well, there is something to disclose, because the Navy just recently said that UFOs are real. Okay.
But wait a second.
And then all of a sudden,
No. They may have said UFO. They also say UAP, but they don't say it comes from another planet.
Well, no, it doesn't matter where it comes from. It's there, and it's a national security threat.
Not if it's the government that's doing it. That is not a security threat.
You mean shutting down nuclear missiles at a missile base?
Wait a sec. We weren't talking about that. We weren't talking about that. We were talking about what happened with the Nimitz.
Oh, the Nimitz.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Day. Kevin Day is a friend of mine. He's another military guy. Okay? And we can talk about the Nimitz all day and all that. But those are the guys I work with. Kevin Day, he started a new investigative group that supposedly has some military people on board and some government people on board, and they're going to do their own investigation. And I'm supplying Kevin Day with all the information I can give him. And anybody else. Okay, I don't care who you are. If I get a document, I get a letter, I get a video, if I get anything, I share it. I'm on Facebook. I can share the most sensitive information around the world in seconds. That's right.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people want to know what the hell's going on. The British want to know. The French want to go. The Mexicans want to know. The Canadians want to go. I'm friends with a whole bunch of people from all these countries, and they all want to know.
What is the answer that you have?
Answer for what?
Well, if they all want to know, you must have the answer. What is it?
I don't have all the answers, but I'm working on it. But I will tell you one thing. There's a government cover-up, and people have been threatened. And when you get down here in Texas, when you go around threatening people, yeah, you're asking for trouble is all I got to say.
All right, Kenneth, thank you so much for joining us. It was a rather interesting hour. And Exonation, if you would like to find out more about our guest of this hour, if you'd like to go to his Facebook page, it is... Goodbye. It is facebook.com Kenneth.Dudley2. My goodness. I'll bet you that, he's the guy who sent us the information that he was current an investigator working with the FBI, Houston, Texas, NASA counterintelligence based out of Johnson Space Center, working with Congress and Homeland Security. I'm sure that these people are going to be very interested in knowing that he is representing himself to the media as an investigator working with them. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I'm Rob McConnell. Don't go away.